Big Drive Energy Thursday, the potential last episode of 2025. What a year it's been. Mitch is back in Colorado. We're going to talk about his trip back. We're going to talk about the Optum Golf Channel games. I have a serious hot take on these. I was pretty pumped to watch it, actually. No nuggets, no abs. It was something that was on TV, and I found myself relatively intrigued. Going to talk about Andrew Novak winning another team event. And of course, as always, we have What the Fuck Wednesday, but on a Thursday. All right, let's tee it up. Big Drive Energy, both of us in Colorado. We're not talking across the country anymore. This is no longer a coast-to-coast podcast. This is a recording in Colorado specific podcast for the boys. Is that why you sound like shit because you don't have your mic?
Yeah. Do I really sound like shit?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not that bad.
Well, funny enough, I think the computer microphone is actually better than the AirPods. I actually recently discovered that one of my AirPods is cracked. So it might be time to cop a new set of AirPods. We'll get into it with the Optum Golf Channel games, but I feel like your AirPods right now are sticking a little too far straight forward. I feel like they need to go down slightly and there you go. Like everyone looks like such a goober. I feel like some older people, some boomers put their AirPods in and they're sticking like straight out, like it's a fucking antenna that's going to pick up what they're supposed to be hearing. Like it is
pretty funny. Even now with the new AirPods, how they're a little sleeker. The old AirPods, it looks like it's a fucking like my chin strap on my beard. It looks like it's going
hanging out of your ears.
Yeah. Yeah, what's that wang hanging out?
You told me that, and I never could see anything else when I looked at the old AirPods. Well, let's get into my travels out here a little bit because
I want to hear about this plane ride because inevitably I'm not on a plane quite as much as you are, but inevitably every time I ride on a plane, something insane happens, and not necessarily insane. But just nothing can just I can never just go to the airport, not see anything weird, get on the plane, not see a bizarre person walk past me or somebody do something weird or somebody out of pocket in the way they're acting, and just get on the plane and go to the destination and leave and feel like it was normal. There's always something out of the norm when I travel. So what hit us with out of the norm traveling from Denver to Chicago? I don't know. I said that. Jersey, Newark to Denver. It was interesting having I texted you a few times yesterday, but having your location on and just whenever you would text, I would just pop up that you're in some different random city. It was pretty hilarious.
Like how's Olathe, Kansas, or how's fucking middle of Illinois? I was like, I have no idea. We're 30,000 feet up. I will say that the flight. So first of all, credit to me. That was my 30th flight of the year this year. So I am officially United Gold member again for next year, which is kind of ridiculous. I just want to rant about United Airlines for a minute. Partially because they're now fucking me again, like the airlines generally like to do.
Should we tag them at United?
Yeah, maybe. But 30 flights to get gold status. It moved from 24 last year to 30 this year. I was gold status this year because I got the flights last year, and then they moved it to 30. So that's part of why I ended up going to Charleston a couple weeks ago. Partially because I had never stepped foot on the rental property that we own down there. So I kind of just wanted to see it, and it was unsurprisingly a wreck. No, it was fine. But that's part of, I literally forced myself to connect through Washington Dulles, which, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it on the pod when I was in Charleston, but Dulles is the biggest fucking joke of an airport. It took me 25 minutes to walk from one gate to the other gate for my connection.
Was it like a Chicago situation? Because I feel
Well,
like
so
that's kind of how Chicago is.
there's multiple terminals, but the biggest problem is there's no like moving walkways. It's literally, and I'm not like a lazy fat piece of shit. I mean, maybe slightly, but I mean, a moving walkway just for speed purposes is going to fucking help you get there faster. You know, like it just felt very narrow and very condensed. Like there was lines for people boarding that were spilling over into the general main atrium, and that is one thing. You know, as much as DIA sucks, it's fucking huge. Like everything's big. You're not going to get a lined up gate fucking spewing into the middle of the entire, you know, general atrium where people are trying to walk. So I'm dodging through these people. I almost missed my connection. That was an absolute nightmare. But yeah, so I reached my 30th flight yesterday. And I did want to save my one thing that I saw in the airport for what the fuck Wednesday, Thursday. You like that little Wednesday, Thursday action? But when I was landing, so luckily, I mean, this wind out here is fucking bananas.
Unbelievable.
Our fence blew down outside of our complex, which I had no idea about. The grill on my front patio moved from one side to the other.
Mom told me that. Yeah. Maybe get a bungee cord and cord that bitch to the I was driving to work today and saw a tree fully down on this piece of shit car. Like this car couldn't drive anywhere because this tree was on top of it.
Oh fuck. Well, dude, I saw that there was like telephone poles broken yesterday and all. Like I was pretty alarmed, and you know, nothing like your mom making not a mountain out of a molehill, but she was like, have you checked for ground stops? I'm like, they haven't told me anything. Like
I was it's funny because I was literally considering texting you yesterday, being like, dude, I can't believe you're flying in with this fucking tornado we got going on. And then I was like, what's that gonna do? Yeah. Like I don't need that. He doesn't need that. So I just left it to myself.
Yeah, well, and come to find out, so I landed at like 4:30, and luckily 2 hours later, I saw that there was probably 40 planes circling around above DIA that weren't able to land because of the wind. So I think the wind picked up even more like later at night. And this, I guess, is a weather podcast now. It's geography and weather. That's what we're known for. That's what we're good at. But the landing was relatively bumpy. Like it was slightly alarming. But Denver always is. I think Denver is actually, I don't remember if we've talked about this or not, if our listeners remember this, but I think DIA is like the third most turbulent airport to land and take off out of in the world. Like, isn't that pretty crazy to think about?
Yeah, I think we have talked about it. I don't know the specifics on it in general, but there's rarely a crisp flight flying into DIA. And while you were talking, I was just while you were talking about your mileage plus and premier status, I am a premier silver. I'm going to stay in that silver realm, but I had 16 flights this year, which isn't terrible. Like not for, I definitely took a few non-United flights as well. So that kind of, I probably was in the 20 to 24 flight range, I would say, for my own personal year, but it also tells you how much money you spent, and I did not like that.
No,
did not want to see that.
Let's just say in terms of like laddering bonuses, like you would ladder prop bets, I've laddered every bonus out of that United Mileage Plus card due to the amount of money I've managed to spend. So
yeah, I'm not happy about seeing that, but you know, it is what it is. 26 is a new year.
Yeah, new year, new me. I actually wanted to follow up because I think we did talk about probably some New Year's resolutions last year. So maybe if we do an epi, we can hunt down that old episode and talk about all the things we haven't accomplished. But so the landing coming into Denver was slightly rough, but it actually, you know, relatively speaking, it wasn't that bad. So then this is another topic that we're going to get to. I brought my golf clubs because for those of you who don't know,
for those of you that if you live in Colorado, you know what it's like right now. But we, the boys, the Big Drive boys, are playing golf tomorrow on December 19th. And it's like, this isn't a charity thing because we don't play golf in charity things. And I don't mean actually like charity events. Love those. But we don't play golf because we're so addicted to it that we don't want to get out if it's fucking 40 and the course is clear. Like, it's going to be goddamn near 70 degrees. I already have a light jacket picked out for tomorrow, and I may not even need that, to be honest.
You probably got your whole outfit laid out. But yeah, we'll get to this round of golf in December because I do feel like an asshole. And just having been in that position before where our previous courses stayed open until like literally through New Year's. I remember I played golf once on New Year's Day, which is disgusting. It should not happen in Colorado. But so I attempted to bring my golf clubs, and I get my other bag that I had checked. And real quick, I just want to talk as well, not like me to get off topic, but checking bags is so fucking convenient. Like,
it's funny. I hate it. I will do everything I can to avoid checking a bag.
Let me put it this way, because I am already, so I get 2 free check bags because I'm gold. That, zippity doo dah. You get 1.
Gold.
Yeah, gold.
No, I'm just saying I'm gold.
Yeah, I'm gold. Excuse me, I'm gold. And really, it means fucking nothing. Like, that's another rant, is how long the boarding lines are, because that is one of the great things about having status on United, is that you get to board early, which is kind of ass backwards anyway, because wouldn't you rather board later? Wouldn't you rather spend less time sitting there?
It's one of my biggest gripes with airlines in general. Every time I get the pushback, and I understand the reasoning of people that bring on carry-ons, then have all the room to put their carry-ons in the overhead bin. And if you board late, you don't have time to do that. But 90% of the time when I'm flying, I just have either checked bags in my backpack or just my backpack and no carry-on at all. I even worse than checking a bag to me is bringing a fucking carry-on on the plane.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, if I'm going to have bags, which if I'm bringing my golf clubs, I already have to check a bag. So at that point, I'm definitely checking my other shit, because what's the point if I have to go to baggage claim? There's no sense in grabbing 1 bag instead of 2. Oh shit, where was I just going with this? Oh yeah, so I grabbed my first bag, and then I go over to the tall carousels that have the oversized luggage, and then I decide, after waiting for like 15 minutes because mom was coming to pick me up and she was like at the airport and I didn't have my bag, I then decided to go into the app to find out that my golf bag didn't make it on the plane. Just flat out said, and I checked in an hour and a half before I was there. It wasn't like I strolled in 30 minutes before the flight took off. I was there with plenty of time, and my golf bag just flat out didn't get on the plane. And so now I'm in limbo with this fucking United. And that was one thing I was going to say as well. I love being an asshole on like those. I'm never an asshole to an actual person. I've gotten a little snippy at times and I feel like it's deserved. But when these AI things like message you and they're like, what can I help you with? I love being such a dick. I'm like, fuck. The AI like bag tracker helped me out. And they're like, are you satisfied with your communication today? I'm like, no, because I don't have my fucking bag. And they're like, oh, that's not what we expected. Can you answer the survey? I'm like, end the survey. I went off on the virtual AI assistant that they've got.
So are you going renties tomorrow then? Is that the story? Or are they supposed to drop it off at your house today?
No, they're supposed to drop it off at my house today. They give me an 8-hour time window. And obviously,
that's convenient.
If you've listened to the pod, you know my porch pirate stories. And that was like a fucking makeup mirror for my girlfriend and some toothbrushes or some shit. I'm not leaving a $5,000 bag of golf clubs sitting out front. So I'm probably going to have to be here for that, which is a pain in the ass. So I'm going to probably come over to your house after this if you're not just now finding out. But then I may just have to run back over depending on when this delivery. They're like, oh yeah, give us 6 to 8 hours. I'm close to just, yeah, because I don't want to rent clubs. And not that I don't mind, But if I fucking legitimately flew my golf clubs to Colorado in December and I don't get to use my golf clubs, that's going to be an all-time like,
Oh yeah, fight on site.
yeah, 100%. And I mean, you're the king of this, but I also have hoodies in there. I have shoes in there because my golf bag is huge. So I have 4 or 5 hoodies in there and like 4 pairs of shoes. That I can't pack that shit in just another, small suitcase. So I'm kind of hamstrung as to my outfits as well, which is a problem. But I will say Missy got me, we did some Christmas present opening earlier because she's going to be in New Jersey on actual Christmas Day. I'm going to be here and then she's coming out after. But she got me this sweet Tommy Bahama Hawkeyes quarter zip and it is so fucking comfortable. So I've just been living in that thing. And she also got me some new Lululemon joggers that are so thin they're almost like cold. Like
Really?
they feel like they're borderline they feel like long underwear. In a
Like I shouldn't be wearing these out in public. Feeling.
Yeah, no, like I have to tape my horn down so there's not a bunch of I mean, I'm not walking around just torqued up or anything, but
well, no, it's probably more like you gotta fucking tape your balls back in between your legs and so it doesn't let your fucking tiny you know when it sits on there like this.
Exactly. Nobody needs to see any of that, but got some great Christmas presents. I'm currently rocking those. But yeah, I'm just bummed that I don't have my golf clubs. I don't want to drive back. And this is just United. Like I've flown a lot this year, but they just keep fucking me. Like I don't know what it is ever. And I feel like I should get some sort of compensation for this. Like
I feel like the worst part about those credit cards is the once a year where you completely forget about it and then you get hit with the annual fee charge. And you're like, dude, that's a whole flight. Like I was so stoked about getting a free flight with my miles and then they just charge it here. Here it is. And you don't, it's always the month where I'm like, oh, we're doing pretty good on the spending this month. Like have some extra this week when we get paid and pay off the credit cards. And it's like, oh, yearly fee, $275. Cool.
Yeah.
Do I get points on that?
Yeah. If I charge that
points
to my credit card, do I get points? Well, and United has definitely dialed back their rewards. Like when I first signed up for this credit card, I got 7 times points on United purchases. So if I spent, say, $5,000 in a year on United stuff, I would get 35,000 points. I think now it's like 3 times points, maybe 4, or so it's just not as good. And then restaurants, I think, were 4 times points, and now they're like 2. So they've dialed everything back. And United, I feel like in general has just gotten overrun because the boarding group 1 now is like 70, 80 people long. I'm like, there's people sitting in the back of the fucking plane that are on boarding group 1. Like how do you even get this? And then there's 30 or 40 people pre-boarding. Like between boarding group 1 and pre-board, the plane's half full. And so like everyone has United status. So maybe that's why they upgraded the point situation a little bit, but
yeah, well, they also just promote the fuck out of it when you're sitting there and they're like, credit card. You're like, nah, dude, I'm good.
Yeah,
I already have it.
That's got to be the worst thing about being a flight attendant, I would assume, is when you have to peddle your airline's bullshit. Like, has anyone ever gotten a credit card from sitting on a United flight and one of those ladies walking around with a fucking pamphlet about a credit card? I bet not. That is just...
No, I can imagine that's not the case. But that definitely not the worst part about being a flight attendant, though. I can only imagine. I can imagine that's top 10 terrible job. Unless I guess the traveling part of it, I always think it's wild when I'm flying, and the flying part is like the get there, like you're either going to work, or you're going to do something fun. And for all the people that work on the plane, that is their job, to literally move from place to place to place in a fucking giant tube in the sky. And then you get to a city and you just fucking live. Like you don't have to work outside of that. You don't think, you're just working when you're traveling. It's kind of an insane thought. So maybe it's a hack. Maybe it's one of the best jobs in the world.
You're getting paid to do what you love. You're getting paid to go to different places. But what I will say is I heard that you only get paid as an airline, as a pilot and a flight attendant, literally when you're in the air. So when you are like on the runway to when you land, that's the only time you're getting paid. So the flight attendants get fucked when they have a 2 or 3 hour delay because they're not getting paid. Nobody's technically getting paid on the staff until they're actually flying. So that kind of blows. Like imagine door to door. Like I saw this TikTok, this pilot was flying. He has like one flight. He lived in Minnesota, but his base was Newark, and he was flying to like Germany. He woke up at 4 a.m., had to get a flight to Newark, and then flew like 13 or 14 hours, and then got to his hotel room. And his day was like legitimately almost 24 hours from door to like sitting down in the hotel. So that shit is just a lot of, and I just don't have the patience. I don't, my travel day I've pretty much got it dick from New Jersey to Colorado. It's like an 8-hour day from when I leave for the airport to when I get into our place out here or wherever I'm going. It's generally about 8 hours. And that's a full work day. That's fucking, where's my lunch break? Like it's a grind. So no, it's just an interesting thing, but there's always some travel bullshit. So we'll see when my clubs arrive. But if not, I'm probably gonna have to go rental set, and that's if we better play golf again just so I can justify, because I know Missy's gonna
100%. Well, you bringing your clubs will force us. I mean, even I was looking next Monday. I think it's supposed to be 70 next Monday. Like, maybe we just got to do it again. We definitely have to, though, considering that you brought your clubs, unless we get some raging snowstorm. But doesn't look like that's upon us at any point.
No, I think we're in the clear. So let's just throw this out, because I'm curious as to how the general public feels. But do you feel like an asshole golfing in December, or do you just the weather's nice, you take advantage of it?
Well, in my current situation, I've actually thought about this, because when I told you, when I was trying to convince you to bring the sticks out last week before you got here, I was like, I want to play golf. I think it'll be fun. It's nice out. Like, to be honest, I don't really want to play, but it's better than going to work, and it'll be fun to get out there. But with the membership that I have, I'm paying them every month essentially for golf, theoretically.
That's true.
And so I'm like, at that point, I'm like, all right, I'm kind of already paying for this. So I feel like less of an asshole. And considering that the tee sheet's full, I think that the mid
2 more people out there.
Exactly. Like, what's the mid days where it's like, oh, there's only 10 people on the sheet and you're one of the 10 that show up? That's a little bit more of an asshole move than, oh, the tee sheet's full. I had to snag us a 2-ball that was just literally sitting in the middle there. And then luckily some people canceled, and so I moved it to 4. But I was like, the whole fucking sheet's full. They're fucking, somebody's going to be there no matter what. And we are also paying dues for people to be able to play golf. Like, and that's the other thing, like members at our old course that we worked at, if they were the only ones on the course at like 4 p.m. on a fall winter day, just be like, dude, just leave the keys in the car. You can talk to them and you can be like, hey, we're going to have
on
you
this level. You're cool.
Yeah. We're going to have you pack up early. We're going to have you bring your, you can just park this cart in this spot, leave the keys in it, or take the key out and put it in the whatever. Fine. But when somebody's coming out and paying a full winter price, you're like, fuck, I really can't like dictate what's going on here. You can, but you don't want to be a total asshole. And everybody in the pro shop and behind the counter always gets the rap of being an asshole, that we're just consistent assholes, and that's how we are. But mostly it's just because of dealing with the people in the mirror watching those TikToks that complain about us being assholes is the reason we're assholes. But no, I don't feel as bad. I feel like it's nice. I kind of want to get out, I want to test my phalanges, see how my hand's doing. I'm a little concerned about it. I've never had surgery in my life, knocking on wood, and I don't want to, but normally like even the worst injuries I feel like I've ever had, where it's like severely sprained ankle or I fucked up my knee, I just put a brace on it. You make fun of me for a month and a half. I put a boot on, you make fun of me. And then I get back to life and I'm fine. And granted, I'm maybe not as, maybe my ankle and knee are fucked up where it's like, if you were an athlete, you'd probably get surgery, but I'm not an athlete. I'm just a regular dude. So I can walk, I can go to the gym. I'm fine. But I'm concerned about this hand scenario because I haven't played. It doesn't hurt when I am chilling, but when I play golf, it hurts. That's what's concerning.
The only time it hurts is when you golf.
And when I open a jar of pickles. So those are the only times. It's weird because
things to your life.
Yeah, well, it's weird because it doesn't hurt just being alive. Like I wake up, I don't think about my hand hurting. I've got 4 or 5 other concerns over my hand hurting. But the last 2 times I've off season picked up a golf club since this happened in like early October, I've taken one swing and been like, oh yeah, there's that again. So I'm a little concerned with that, but we'll see. Hopefully it just goes well. And I think I'm talking myself into it hurting because now it's starting to hurt. My mind is sending pain signals.
Well,
right now,
yeah,
and I'm doing nothing.
You remember when I had my thumb problem years ago? That took like years to feel better. And it still occasionally will twinge or something will mildly hurt. But your hands are just one of those things in golf that you cannot get around. Like there's no, and especially wrists, hands, elbows, any sort of joint, you're totally fucked. And like there's just nothing that you take more for granted than your health when you feel 100% good. You're just like, oh, this is normal. It's like offensive linemen. They get no credit when everything goes well. They just get shit on when everything goes poorly. Like when my body feels like shit, I'm like, it's rebelling against me. But when I feel fine, I'm like, oh, this is just normal. It's not like, oh, I feel so good. It's just a general leveled scale. I do want to see how it goes over with your wife, though, when you say we need to play more golf because Mitchell brought his clubs. Like that's going to be Kylie's like, we've got shit to do. Sawyer's got this. You're like, Mitchell flew his clubs out, babe. We're not going to not play. Like that is going to be your wall of defense. And that is going to go over like an absolute lead balloon.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it ends up turning out. We'll, as long as I've got, back to work, I got the nanny where we should be gravy. I'm going to try to get a few, and hopefully if tomorrow goes well with the hand, and it's actually as nice as it is out. Cause I even went last night. I went for a walk. Me and Sawyer went for a walk last night at like 4:15. I was like, I'm falling asleep on the couch.
Out of the house
No, I was falling asleep on the couch. We'd been inside. I stayed home with him yesterday. So we've been inside all day. I'm like, dude, let's go outside and just walk. And it was the wind. I wore shorts and the wind was like warm. That's how insane it was. Like I was getting, I was like, all right, we gotta.
Did you think it was like May?
It felt like June or July.
No shit.
It was incredible. And so I'm like, all right, let's take advantage of this and go actually swing the sticks. Hopefully the hand just, responds well to this whole scenario. And then we can go play again after Christmas.
Little will help. One other thing, I mean, it's a golf subject, but before we touch on some of the topics, I'm curious because our buddy was playing golf the other day at Heather Ridge, and he posted a picture, and I legitimately have not played Heather Ridge since I was like 17. And I immediately was like, that's the 18th at Heather Ridge. I've played it one time.
Is that Tyler Warren's?
Yes.
Dude, that's so funny that you say that because I saw that story and was like, where the fuck is this? Like I saw it and I was like, okay, I know it's a course I've probably played. And actually, I don't think I've played Heather Ridge. So it's have a little bit of an out.
Anything exciting.
No, for sure. But I was literally thinking, I was like, do I need to, I thought maybe the Ridge. I don't know why, because he plays there a lot, but I was considering DMing him and be like, where'd you play? And I was like, oh, we're going to play with him. I'll ask him then. But yeah, I had no clue. And I thought to myself, where the fuck is that?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you haven't played the course, that makes sense. But it just brought me to a general question of what percentage of golf holes could I just show you a picture of with no sort of background info, but you have played that golf course? How many do you, I guess, could you at least recognize the course on like almost 100% of the holes that you've played in your life?
I think so. I think if you showed me a picture from the tee box, because sometimes like from behind the green, or there's angles people can take where you're not entirely sure. Sometimes I'd see angles of the course that we grew up playing and worked at, and I'd be like, that's not our course. So if you took a picture from the tee box of every single hole, I think I could get a good 80 to 90% of them.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I can even narrow it down to most golf holes, and I feel like that might be my model train type of pick, if you feature of my mind, if you know what I mean. I can narrow down to the hole generally. If I can, just for example, Valley Country Club. I've played there once. I could probably name you almost every single hole, or give you at least the 9 that it's on. That is just something that sticks in my mind on a regular basis. Like I don't know if I'm some sort of Einstein for golf courses, but, and I don't know if that's a general thing where, because I've played a shitload of golf. I've, played thousands and thousands of rounds in my life. So I wonder if it's the more you play, the more you remember, or if that makes any sense.
It feels like you would remember more the less you played, but
I feel
also,
like people
you
that
could be
just start playing golf, they're like, oh, what, I don't know if it's just a different level of thinking where you just remember the shots you hit so well, because I can tell you how I played maybe not how I played the hole exactly. If it was like 7-10 years ago, but there's definitely golf rounds I played during high school where I can almost tell you shot for shot what I did during that round of golf.
That's
So,
insane, because from high school, I can't remember fuck all. From every time
well,
when I got
because
to
you swung
college,
the club
maybe
so many times, it was fucking hard to keep track of them.
probably accurate. I did shoot in the 70s once or twice in a fucking Jeffco tournament. So ease up, bud. All right, let's transition into some real golf shots, and let's start with the Golf Channel, the Optum Golf Channel games. And I'll be real honest, I couldn't find anything to watch on TV last night. We're all just chilling in the house. We tried to get Sawyer to watch The Grinch, which he did watch. He did enjoy part of The Grinch. He almost ruined his mom's night with a comment about a fat reindeer. But we were watching The Grinch, and he was kind of into it, but I was like, I can't watch this. And I really thought when we had a kid, I was like, I can just get down on some of these fucking shows and just sit there and stare at it, maybe look at my phone a few times. But if he's being chill and enjoying it, I'll just try to enjoy it. And the older I get, the more I have no time for it. I have no time to sit and
we're
watch
turning golf on. I don't need these fucking cartoon Christmas movies.
Well, and so luckily enough, it was about his bedtime anyway, so I knew his timer was running out. But I put the golf on my phone, and I was like, the Nuggets aren't playing, the Avs aren't playing. There's no football on. There's no good football on. I'm not going to watch the Xbox Bowl with my finger in my ass. So I turned this. I was like, Golf Channel games. I know Scottie and Rory are in it. I didn't know who else was like around this group of people, or who else was participating in this. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to turn this on. And starting out, I legitimately was like, this is going to be so fucking bad, but this is better than The Grinch, and I can't handle it. So I'm going to watch it. And I'll be completely honest, I was pretty hooked. And I'm already bummed that it's not a TGL thing, because I'll be honest, I don't get into TGL that much. We'll probably watch it because we'll talk about it on the show, so I'll probably force watch it. But I don't love it. I don't love the TGL. There's some new TGL holes coming out all over Twitter and the internet that are pretty cool and pretty intuitive, which I think is a fun part of that. Is they realize that
you just learned that one today.
No, I've known that. I've had that in the back, way back in the alley of my brain. But they're making TGL a little more fun. Now they've got a second run at it essentially. And there's a lot of big names. So that part's worth watching. But when I turned on the Golf Channel games, I was not that excited about it. And I found myself hooked. And the team relay, I don't know when you turned it on. I was texting you.
I did get to watch some of the relay. That was electric.
I mean, electric stuff. The 14 Club Challenge after that, I missed the driving part of it. That's kind of what hooked me into it, because they tweeted out a video of Luke Clanton having 191 ball speed. And so I was like, all right, maybe I'll tune in and see what this is about. And I found myself really enjoying it and really wishing that they did that once a week with different teams rather than the TGL, because I found it fucking fun. The commentary was great. I mean, we'll talk about Johnson Wagner here in a bit, but he's the Charles Barkley of golf is what he is. He's hilarious. He fucking says whatever he wants to say. And the other part, like just like Charles, where Charles was one of the best players in the NBA at the time. Now, Johnson Wagner wasn't ever a top, but compared to the rest of the world, he's a 1% of 1%, and he won a tour event. I mean, there's so many guys out there never won a PGA Tour event. Johnson Wagner's won a PGA Tour event, but is now just this goofy, older, chubby, funny guy with a mustache that talks about golf. And there's a lot of those out there, but I love the pairing of him. And then knowing he was on the PGA Tour and won those events, just to me, like boosts up his credibility a little bit, and same with Colt Knost. Like both of those guys are kind of goofy. And are they actually good at commentating like a Jim Nance would be, or, Mike Tirico, or these guys? Like, no. But at the same time, the thought in the back of your mind, listening to them, knowing they've played in these tournaments, they've played these courses, they've played as high of level golf and winning a PGA Tour event as you'll ever see in the world, essentially at that point in time when they were in their prime, makes them so much more credible to me, and then makes them what they do so much funnier. And that's an incredible two guys. And Johnson Wagner doing the, Luke Donald with his glasses on. I thought he was a commentator for a while until I saw him actually hit a golf shot. But like the relay part was sick. The 14 Club Challenge, watching Hao Tung Lee swing left-handed and watching them, Luke Clanton being able to, and I was going to tweet something about this, but one like doesn't get me going. So I was like, whatever. But Luke Clanton, golf is a perfect example of a sport where Luke Clanton hits on that 14 Club Challenge. He hits a 3-wood on one of them, tees it up fucking higher than Giraffe's ass, and hits a flop shot with a 3-wood to like 20 feet on that hole. He also takes his sand wedge and hits it in the forehead and blades it to also 20 feet on the hole. So it goes to show you golf is like, it's just about the result. It's never about how you get there. And he hit, relatively speaking, they were on different parts of the green, but he hit 2 of the same quality of golf shots, neither with the right club that he would have chosen for this hole, probably just as good as the actual club he would have chosen for that hole in most circumstances. And he had 2 completely different clubs that weren't even correct for him. So that's just golf in a nutshell there, where you're playing with an 80-year-old man and, a kid that swings at 155. The 80-year-old man hits 3-wood on the green, but the kid can hit sand wedge on the green. It all ends up the same. And it's just crazy to think about golf in that way, because it's truly just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how you get there. Just you get the ball up that way and you fucking put it in the hole. And also, I don't want to forget my tweet that I actually did tweet out because I was laughing out loud, and it actually got censored on Twitter. Let me see what it said. I pulled it up because I was like, that was funny. That should have garnered at least 4 to 5 likes. And it got
censored.
So it says here, visibility limited. This post may violate X's rules against hateful conduct because Shane Lowry kept calling Hao Tung Lee his sweet Chinaman. And I was fucking dying laughing, dude. Like during the one you missed right before the relay challenge was the chipping. It was like a short game challenge where they'd hit 6 or 7 different chips One was like a low, you know, they didn't have to play. They could play it however they wanted, but one was like a 20-yard chip with a lot of green to work with. And then one was, they had the big break wall out there and they had to hit a flop shot over the big break wall. And there was, each target had a circle. And if you got it in the big circle, it was 1 point, little circle, 2 points. Hole out was 10 points, which Keegan ended up holing out one of the chips. So he kind of dominated the whole thing. And then after they hit the 6 chips, they'd hop in a cart with either Smiley Kaufman or who's the old dude that was on it last night? That's like very popular, but it looks like Brandel Chambly, but it's not him.
Gary Sands.
Oh, Brad Faxon.
Oh, Faxon. Yes.
Brad Faxon. They'd hop in a cart with them, and then they'd go over and hit 3. And this is all timed. They'd hit 3 putts from 5 feet, 3 from 10 feet, 3 from 15 feet, and then 3 from 50 feet, and it all added up to points on their short game challenge. But which made me think, before I forget as well, we need to do this for content.
Okay.
We need to recreate the golf games for content, because I think it'd be fucking genius. It's not genius, it's just copying, but I think it'd be funny content to try to do the same shit they were doing. But Hao Tung Lee was like running, I think maybe it was on the relay. He was running to the bunker to hit a shot, and you could hear Lowry on the thing, run my sweet Chinaman. In his
I did not hear that. That's fucking funny.
I was fucking losing my mind.
Well, so I want to go back to the comments you made 10 minutes ago when you were talking about Colt Knost and Johnson Wagner. I do agree that the credibility level is definitely there, but I think it truly is a testament, like Charles and Johnson and Colt, and that's why they're in the positions they're in, because they did it at that high of a level, but they're also self-deprecating and they can laugh at themselves and make fun of themselves. And especially in the game of golf, there's so many dudes that cannot laugh at themselves and take their career so seriously. And, you know, it's just a different type of mindset that these guys have even after their career. Like, they don't want to talk shit about themselves and they don't want to downplay their career. And so that's just what's so beautiful about Wagner, is he consistently makes a fool out of himself. I think it was Wagner that had the shanks for like 2 years. Like, he legit couldn't get the ball in the air, and I think that's why he quit golf. And talk about just an all-time humbling experience where, you know, even the best players in the world aren't not prone, what's the word I'm looking for, aren't exempt from getting the shanks. So I really did love the broadcast, Johnson Wagner, and we'll get into the Colt Knost Johnson Wagner thing, but yeah, I really did think that it was pretty like clever. And the way you said that you would much rather watch that than TGL, I agree. And I don't know what it is, if it's just the simulator thing versus the actual being on a real golf hole. I don't know what the disconnect is there, but there's definitely something. Because I totally agree with you, where I would much rather watch this than the TGL, but the product was actually good. Like, you could hear their commentary. Scottie was funny. Shane Lowry was funny. A couple of the guys were pretty funny, just taking shots and comments. Like, was it Hao Tung Lee caddying for Rory?
Yeah, because the last challenge was the captain's challenge, so yes. Straight up Scottie versus Rory. Which, by the way, go on with your Hao Tung, and then I'll get my take in.
No, it was just funny because one of the commentators go, I think this might be a caddy issue, and Hao Tung's like, yo, I'm doing my best out here. Like he could have probably said something a little more inappropriate, but he knew he was on TV. So I thought that was funny too, though. Just the commentary in and out, and Rory blading that bunker shot. Like, Scottie looked pretty fucking human, but then there's just certain shots too where they both drop it 46 yards out and just they haven't practiced. You know, they're not. And Rory hits it to 3 feet and Scottie hits it to 5 feet. Like, that's just how good those guys are. So it's just, the more golf you play, the more you appreciate. Like, oh yeah, you just hit a 125-yard shot to like 7 feet. Now, tour average from that distance is like 30 feet, 35 feet. So it just well above average shots when you literally get one shot at a time. That's the kind of shit and it just makes me even more excited to watch Big Break again, because it almost has like a Big Break type feel where you're hitting a few shots at a time. you're not playing a round of 18 holes, and it's pretty captivating stuff. Like, I would definitely watch it again.
Yeah, well, the way they finished it, I'm pretty sure they fucked up. I feel like Rory's team won because they were tied going into that final shot where they had it from 47 yards. And the other part that was insane is just they both had the exact same shot go within so many inches of each other, essentially from distance from the hole, that they had to get a measuring tape out, and nobody even standing up there, Shane Lowry, whoever was up on the green, couldn't tell who the closer one was. But I could have sworn that they said they did the 6-7 thing, which was hilarious, and everybody like went in on it. But I could have sworn that they said Rory's was 6 feet 6 inches and Scottie's was 6 feet 7 inches. So I thought Rory won, and that's when they all thought Rory won. And that's our thumbnail for the day. If you guys didn't see it from the beginning, if you're not watching this on the YouTube, but Rory's celebrating and Scottie's also celebrating because they kind of butchered the end of it. Not that it really mattered who won, but it wasn't quite clear who actually won the challenge. And then Shane took Scottie's ball and just threw it in the water. And so I think they ended up obviously getting it correct, I would think, by the time they awarded the winner of which team it was. But I thought the teams were great. I thought seeing Luke Clanton out there with those guys was awesome. Scottie Scheffler, Luke Donald, like I mentioned, Shane Lowry, Sam Burns, of course, was a nothing burger in that thing, not really providing any insight. And then also, did you notice Keegan's comment where I don't know if Shane said this to him or in general, but when Keegan chipped that one in and got the 10 points on the chipping challenge, he goes, "Yeah, I'm just the best exhibition golfer in the world. Isn't that right, Shane?" And so I don't know if there was something there from the Ryder Cup or what that was, but it was just
it was from the match they played a couple weeks ago where he won.
Oh, okay.
On Thanksgiving, that's probably what that was, where he won it. So.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, but Shane Lowry becoming a big figure, and I think leaning into he seemed like the guy that was low key funny, where you knew he'd be hilarious, but he kind of stayed to himself enough. And I think the fact that everybody wants Rory to be in these things, which he just brings the star power, and it makes sense. Hence why I threw his name in our headline here for the YouTube show. But Rory kind of brings Shano along. Rory's like, "Hey, Shano is my guy. He'll be on my team." And he's starting to get a little bit more. I think obviously being in full swing was helpful for him, but I think he's starting to not be the
sideshow.
Yeah, like the sideshow, but also he's not an asshole. He's not like an arrogant asshole.
He bitches a lot. I don't think he's an arrogant asshole, but he complains a lot, and I think people don't like that. But I was just realizing that, am I your Shane Lowry, basically? Like, when we go to your member guest, and not to say that you're Rory because I'm somehow also carrying us on the golf course, but I'm kidding. You played very well. But I am the one that you bring for like the entertainment. Like, I'm the one that's going to be chopping it up with everybody, bullshitting. You kind of more keep to yourself, but it's a good dynamic. Like, Rory and Shane is just the perfect combo, because Rory's almost too big of a star to like act like a jackass, but Shane just doesn't take himself that serious. And he is like kind of coming into his own as a personality out there on tour.
That's what I was trying to find in my mind the whole time. Like, he's one of the better players on tour, but going away from being the silent, I want to keep to myself, to, hey, I'm pretty funny. I'm just a regular dude that's really good at golf, and I'm a goofy Irishman, but I'm going to lean into that, and I'm going to let more people see that, which I think has been cool just over the last couple of years, and not just Shane, but most of these PGA Tour players, with the things like full swing and being mic'd up and doing matches and doing this Golf Channel games, I think has become really good for the personalities in golf and allowing people to have some more, like, people that watch PGA Tour events are going to watch PGA Tour events no matter who's playing. But I think they're creating, with some of these events with less players and more focus on who the guys are, in addition to them being really good at golf, is creating more. Golf fans need more like Colts. You know what I mean? Like, they need more like Jordan Spieth Colts. Shout out Beckfist, Jamesy. He's just a Jordan Spieth Colter, but he kind of is a perfect example of like Jamesy, and I'm just assuming here, but he'll watch some PGA Tour events. He'll watch all the majors. But if Jordan Spieth's playing or playing well, he's locked in, right? And so that's how golf gains its. They don't have teams. This isn't the Live Tour, the PGA. We're talking the PGA Tour here. There's no four aces diehard out there that's just watching because the four aces are in it. But you have to have people be specific fans of a specific player in order to really get their attention if they're a fringe golf fan in general, or somebody that is not obsessed with golf. They'll watch a PGA Tour event if a guy that they really like or a player that they're fond of is in it.
For sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's move it along now to we didn't talk about this when it initially came out, but Colt Knost, they announced that Colt Knost is going to be up in the broadcast booth now. He's advanced from being an on-course. He's so advanced, like your young son, Gabriel. He's moved on from the on-course commentary. Now he's going to be up in the booth. And now Johnson Wagner is no longer on like the Golf Channel Presents, which he did, live from. He would go to the majors and all that stuff, but he's now taking Colt's place as the on-course guy. And I truly like, from an announcing standpoint, I haven't been more excited about a move like this maybe ever in terms of golf, because I think Colt is going to be phenomenal in the booth. Like, he's so good on the course, but having him be able to comment on almost every shot and then also get more insight from him because he's going to be sitting down and not trying to move around because he's a big boy. And I mean, he has dropped some pounds since walking around the PGA Tour for years. But just having him commenting on every single thing, we're going to hear some pretty funny shit. Like, especially if we somehow get Kisner and Colt in the booth at the same time. I don't know if that's going to happen. They may be different networks, but
there's going to need to be somebody driving that bus for sure.
Yeah.
Colt is perfect at, it's just like me and you on the pod. I kind of steer it in certain directions, but you then allow your personality to flourish and talk about those things. And that's much like Colt Knost. But the thing I'm sad about reading that tweet that you sent and talking about this is, I don't know if that means we're not getting the same content from Johnson Wagner. Like, we're going to get different content. We're getting him being on the course and but those live froms, like the time of him just sculling the shots from the fucking rough at Pinehurst is ingrained in my mind. Yeah, that's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. And now I don't know if apparently that's going to go away if he's moving to CBS and not going to be part of the Golf Channel. But I would assume CBS will do, like, if he's out on the course, he'll be doing some things before, just like he did with the Golf Channel games where he went out and played, and they did all as a group, as a broadcasting group, did some of the challenges. I expect to see more of that too, but I don't want to lose the live froms, because there's nothing better than getting a little comic relief when, when a major day's over. It's a Thursday at a major. You're sad that you just watched 12 hours of golf, but it's over and you have to wait till the next day. And then you get Johnson Wagner fucking sculling it and shanking it and being hilarious afterwards. You're like, it's kind of like a fun post-game show almost.
For sure. I actually just had an idea that I would give CBS or whoever it is for free. But how cool would it be? They do a Golf Central pregame. What if they sent Colt Knost and Johnson Wagner out to play the course and just do like a course preview? Like, you can't hit it in this spot. Just giving some background on the course, because there's so few, like, in the NBA or the NFL, they do player previews and all this stuff, and they talk about the conditions. Like, I feel like they don't do that as much as in the golf industry. So it would be great to send, and also it'd be comedy as well, because they'd hit some. Colt's obviously still very good, and so is Johnson, but they'd hit some fucking squirrely ones, and that would be great, along with seeing what the course looks like and where, this is the hardest pin on this green or whatever, and just giving a little bit more insight into the course before the tour guys go play it. Just to more, like, they've talked about sending a 12 handicap out to play the US Open before they, or videotaping it, and that making good content. I feel like they could do the same thing with Johnson and Colt and be like, these guys are pretty electric to watch, and they're pretty funny, but also it's good, like, course info.
Yeah, one thing we did want to get to as well before we get out of here today, we got a few more topics to hit on. You wanted to hit on LeBron. LeBron getting into golf, I think, is awesome. I'm really enjoying it, and some people are going to hate on him because they just hate LeBron, which I'm not a LeBron fan. But LeBron talking about YouTube golf and then getting into golf as well is pretty fucking hilarious. So let's get to LeBron here and his. You wanted to talk about his outfit and him putting and playing golf. So let's get into a little bit of LeBron.
Mute that. There you go.
I don't know if that was just in my ears or not. So
no, I could hear it.
What do you think about the fit? I think it's a really good golf fit. Super clean.
Yeah, the white pants are definitely out right now. Like that kind of shows his level of game or how much golf he's played. But I mean, pretty clean outfit. It is funny that, and maybe this is like an MJ thing where now he's just copying MJ. I'm sure there's some fans of MJ out there saying, "Oh, he just wants to be Michael Jordan so bad that now he's getting really into golf." Like claw grip, that's pretty advanced. That just shows me he already probably has the yips in his right hand. Like he's already fucking stabbing at it with that right hand. So you got to drop into the claw. But the one thing I will say that it's just very LeBron like to fist pump a 1.5 foot, par or bogey putt with the flag still in. It just screams rookie golfer to me. So I am a known LeBron hater though as well. I'm not a huge fan of his. So
but it just goes to show you though that truly there's definitely a lot of barriers to get into golf, and there's a lot of reasons where you can't necessarily play as much as you want to. But I truly believe any single person that says they hate golf, if they actually or doesn't play it, they just haven't played it.
Yeah.
They just haven't gone out and truly enjoyed, whether it's a Saturday morning round with your best friends or a twilight round with your family. Like there's so many different options of golf. But I truly believe like everybody that's like, oh, I don't play. There's reasons to not play. It takes a long time. It costs a lot of money. You may already have some other habits that you partake in that don't allow you to spend money on the golf course. But I truly believe if you get out there and play enough and become decently good, become like, LeBron's going to have a lot more handicaps assistance than most of your random people that are like, oh, I don't play golf and I don't get to play, he's probably playing Riviera or some shit consistently and can have anybody in the world help him with his swing in 2 seconds. I do believe like playing really bad golf or being really bad at it, if you're just a quitter in life, you will get fed up with golf pretty quick. But I think if you're even mildly decent and can make contact with the ball enough, if you don't take it too seriously, it is the one sport in the world that everybody, age, height, weight, anything, you handicaps, people have golf carts that drive them around and they can swing. You don't have legs, you can swing from the cart. Like there's so many ways to play golf, and it's truly just the most pure game in the world. And I love when people like that get into it. Like LeBron, who probably 10 years ago was like, fucking golf, come on, what is that? It's not a real sport. And then they play it, and there's no addiction like golf. Let's put it that way. There is no addiction like golf where you don't shoot a basketball and make a 3-pointer once and are like, I need to fucking make a 3-pointer. I need to go to the hoop right now. I need to go to fucking find any. But when you get addicted to golf, when the golf bug catches you, you're fucked. You're going to love it for a long time.
Well, I've heard the comment that golf is your favorite athlete's favorite sport. So that's a kind of a good way to put it, where any athlete that you watch and love, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, they love to golf. There's very rarely dudes, hockey players love to golf. That all athletes, like it is truly a game that we feel like everyone should experience at one point or another. A couple other things. So Andrew Novak and his partner Lauren Coughlin won the Grant Thornton Invitational, which I always think is actually a pretty fun tournament. Little 2-person event. You kind of get to add in some LPGA, some PGA, some no longer PGA, some retired people. But Novak's won twice this year, and both of his wins have been in team events. So it just
He would have. You could have put him on the Ryder Cup. Should have put him on the U.S. Ryder Cup team. He could have had 3 all-team events.
Yeah. He should have been in the Ryder Cup if he's – and he is a huge – do you know Andrew Novak has his own football podcast? Where he
really?
Yeah, he just breaks down football and just talks ball. I think football is like his favorite sport, which, join the fucking club. But I thought that was pretty interesting. And then also Lauren Coughlin's caddy is her husband, who was a former University of Virginia football player that retired from his job, didn't get drafted to the NFL, but then just was going to work a normal job. And then his wife made it out on the LPGA tour, and now he caddies for her. So I guess just a quick response. At what level, I don't know if you could put a monetary value on it, because being able to spend that kind of time with your wife, it's kind of a don't shit where you eat type of thing. Like that could get a little hairy if you give your wife the wrong number and then it spills over into dinner time later where she's like, fucking handed me sandwich and it was a gap wedge all day. Like that, you got to definitely draw a firm line. But give me a number as to if your wife made this, you would just go be her virtual assistant.
I'd say $200K a year.
That's pretty low.
Maybe 250.
Okay.
That'd be enough. That'd be enough for me.
You're like that would cover it. I'll go do whatever you want me. You want me to go rake your bunker? I will rake your bunker. But I just thought that was pretty cool that a former football player is now caddying. I'm sure he's massive. I haven't seen any pictures, but I think that was our last topic before What the Fuck Wednesday. Thursday?
Yeah, What the Fuck Wednesday, Thursday. Let's hit it up. You start us off. So this is our favorite segment of the week. We just talk about anything random, like just mostly like the first half hour of our pod. But this is one specific thing where you just look and say, what the fuck is going on, man?
Yeah, well, so I've got 2 of them. When I was walking through the airport, I was, they have those contactless, like there's this little place in the Newark airport. Jesus Christ, my brain is shorting apparently. But it was completely like contactless. There was nobody manning it. There was no person there. It was just like a walk up, scan your shit, just kind of like on a wall. It wasn't even a place that you walk into. It was just like a wall of shit. And then you're supposed to scan it. I watched this dude just walk up and there was like a case of waters just sitting there. Dude just walks up, sticks his hand in the case of water, rips it open, just takes a water bottle and walks off. And I was like, why the fuck didn't I just take this Gatorade it's funny how you draw the line in your head about like, I'm not stealing, even though the Gatorade was $5. Like the dude just walks up, breaks the plastic, fucking grabs a water and just keeps walking. I'm like,
oh my God.
G move, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. My other What the Fuck Wednesday, Missy and I were at dinner the other night at this pretty nice spot in Morristown called Agricola. It's spelled Agricola, and that's what we call it, but it's for another time. But nice dinner, like we were enjoying ourselves, a couple cocktails, some good food, and we're getting ready to get the check, and we're both kind of looking over in one direction, and we see something dart out from one place under another, and it was a fucking mouse that went right under like the server table, like next to us.
Oh no.
I mean, we really didn't give a shit. Like, there's no mice shitting in my food or anything, but we told the waiter, because I was like, I feel like I have to tell him something, because it didn't look like there was anywhere for this mouse to go unless it was just under, where they've got like the computer and you can put plates and shit, but it was just like a standing table and you couldn't see underneath it. But this mouse just shot fucking, I don't even know where he came from, but it was so fast. Missy's like, she's like, did you see that too? And I'm like, yeah, it was a fucking mouse. And the server was like so apologetic. We're like, I'm not, but that some lady be like, oh my God, a fucking.
Oh yeah, she'd ask for a free bill.
Yeah, give me all my food for free, or I'm gonna write a fucking review on you and blah blah blah. And the dude was just like apologizing all over himself. I'm like, I thought it was funny. I just want to give you a heads up. If you hear a server scream at the top of their lungs, an 18-year-old girl sees a mouse, it's like she sees fucking Godzilla.
That's me too. Yeah. To be fair.
you're gonna be standing on your kitchen island when you did see a mouse. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny as well because I'd seen that happen at Ball Arena before when we were down in the Breckenridge.
Remember that? It's fucking
Yeah, that mouse just shot right out and fucking from the crevice in a wall and shot into the fireplace. I was like, these little fuckers, man, they'll get you.
Yeah, ours has been terminated, so that's good news for us. My What the Fuck Wednesday is just, in general, my Christmas lights are just giving me hell. These icicle lights that I ordered, they're so thin, and I don't know. The wind in Colorado, if you don't live in Colorado, the wind here has been, they shut down people's power yesterday for multiple hours. I think there's some people still don't have power, and then not that it shut off, they just shut it down so that in case any power lines fell, because the wind was so crazy, it didn't start any fires. But this wind has been, I took my flagpole down yesterday. It broke my fucking gate in my backyard where my trash is. It just ripped the gate off of the pole that it was screwed into. It flew open my other gate that's next to my house. All my Christmas lights are in my fucking gutter. And I've fixed this 4 or 5. Like, it's just, this wind is owning me. My little hanging snowman that hangs out in front of my house, I had to take him down yesterday. There's fucking shit all over my front yard. Like, it's
well, yeah, I bought you a new Broncos inflatable for your birthday, and now you can't even put it out in the yard until this shit goes.
Yeah, because it'll be in somebody else's fucking yard. Somebody else will get a free Christmas gift fucking floating down in their house. Looks like a hot air balloon up there.
That would be electric. See if Sawyer wants to hang on and just see if he can float around the neighborhood a little
see
bit.
If it'll lift him up, get him a fun free ride. All right. Well, that wraps it up for us for Big Drive Energy for the week. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Christmas holiday. Not sure when we're going to be back. We may maybe do an episode after Friday next week at some point, day after Christmas. We might do one the week after that. Before, we'll definitely be back in 2026. Looking forward to the golf season and getting back into our picks and watching PGA Tour events, Live Tour events, all that good stuff. It's right around the corner. So if we don't talk to you, enjoy your holiday, enjoy the rest of 2025, and we'll talk to you in 2026. All right. That's the end of Big Drive Energy.